रिकॉर्डिंग स्टार्ट कर दें मैं. थैंक्स महेश. सो आई वाज सेइंग कि हम लोग ये लिस्ट बहुत कॉमनली यूज करते हैं डे टू डे लाइफ में. लाइक लिस्ट, लाइक यू कैन हैव शॉपिंग आइटम्स का लिस्ट, या फिर एक टू डू आइटम्स का लिस्ट, या फिर एक लिस्ट ऑफ सिटीज वगैरह वगैरह. तो HTML gives us three different types of list. First list is called unordered list. ठीक है, तो unordered list का मतलब होता है कि एक लिस्ट में जहां पर ऑर्डर मैटर नहीं करता. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल तुम लोग एक शॉपिंग लिस्ट बनाते हो, तो उसमें अगर तुम लोग लिखते हो कि मुझे एक एक ब्रेड चाहिए, एक बटर चाहिए, एक और एक और कुछ और चाहिए, उसका ऑर्डर मैटर नहीं करता, बिकॉज यू हैव टू अल्टीमेटली गेट ऑल ऑफ देम, राइट? सो इट डजंट मैटर आप लोग कौन सा पहले खरीदेंगे शॉपिंग लिस्ट में. सो दैट्स एन अनऑर्डर्ड लिस्ट का एग्जांपल. विल सी हाउ वी कैन क्रिएट दैट. सो यू स्टार्ट विद द यूएल. ओके, यूएल का मतलब होता है अनऑर्डर्ड लिस्ट. अभी ये लिस्ट का कंटेनर हुआ. इस कंटेनर के अंदर यू विल क्रिएट मल्टीपल लिस्ट आइटम्स लाइक दिस. Let's say you want to buy, let's say that you want to create a shopping list. And shopping list you will create unordered list containing this is a container. But this container you will have multiple list items. Like how many will you want? So let's say that the first item that I want is maybe a bread, and then I want to buy some eggs, and I want to buy some milk also. And I'll save the file, and I go and refresh here, and automatically I get this thing here. And if you look at this, तो हर एक लिस्ट आइटम को ये पूरा जो है, ये पूरा अभी एक अनऑर्डर्ड लिस्ट हुआ, जिसके अंदर यू हैव मल्टीपल लिस्ट आइटम्स. एंड ऑटोमेटिकली HTML ने ये जो बुलेट पॉइंट्स है इसने ऐड कर दिया है. तो हम लोगों ने कहीं पर ऐड नहीं किया, लेकिन दिस कम्स ऑटोमेटिकली विद इन योर लिस्ट आइटम्स. ओके, सो एवरी लिस्ट आइटम बाय डिफॉल्ट will have this. If your list is an unordered list, then every list item will automatically have a bullet point like this. Okay, this is called an unordered list. Okay, let's say कि you want to create a ordered list. Ordered list का मतलब होता है कि जहां पर आपको order matter करता है. Like for example, if you are trying to give some directions to a friend, घर कैसे आना है, you tell them, okay, first of take the straight route, then take left, then take right. So the order matter करता है ना वहां पर. You can't give the directions in whatever order you want, because the order matters. We can create an order just like this. Let's say, let's say you create directions, and you create an ordered list like this. तो OL का मतलब है ordered list, UL is unordered list. तो इस always remember that inside an unordered list या inside an ordered list आप लोग हमेशा एक list item देंगे. ठीक है, you can have multiple list items within the container. तो एक unordered list या फिर एक ordered list के अंदर आप लोग हमेशा list items ही देंगे. तो let's create a list item like this, and let's call it take left from the circle, and then go straight for 2 kilometers, and then take a right from the dead end. Okay, when I save this, and if I go and refresh the page, I see directions along with the directions here. Now यहाँ पर order matter करता है, because if you give the wrong order now, then it can be wrong solution to the guy, right? So you have to give the directions in the same order, and hence the order actually matters. Order matter करता है यहाँ पर. And if you look at this, by default HTML gives numbers to every list item. जब भी आप एक order list बनाते हो, every list item gets the numbers by default, and automatically HTML will take care of incrementing the numbers as well. So every item that you have here is basically a list item, where every list item has a number. The number is coming why? Because it's a ordered list. If it's an unordered list, then you get a bullet point by default. but if it is an ordered list, you get numbers by default. Okay, so ordered list and unordered list, inside which you have multiple list items. So every list item will basically have either a bullet point if it's an unordered list, or it will have a number if it is an ordered list. Okay. Now there is one more type of list, and we call it as a description list. So let's call it a description list. Let me give an example. You can create a description list container just like you have OL and UL. You can create one DL like this, which means it's a description list or definition list. Here you'll have two things. One, you have DT, and you'll also have a DD. DL is nothing but definition list. DT is the definition term, and DD is the definition description. So think of this as a dictionary. Okay, like dictionary types here. So let's say if you want to give ice cream, you can say a soft, sweet, frozen food. Again, if you hit enter, if you come back here and refresh the page, you get this by default. Okay. So इसका जो भी ये spacing हुआ है ना, it's coming automatically because of this thing right here. This is your definition list. जिसके अंदर you can have multiple definition terms and definition description. Let's create one more.
काय नाही आहे घरात.
I don't know why people don't mute. Okay. Marvel. Just cinematic franchise in the world. If you hit save and refresh, you get one more thing here. So let's think of this as a dictionary. ठीक है, जहां पर you have basically, जैसे कि हमारे पास UL और OL है, we also have DL also. ठीक है, DL का मतलब होता है एक definition list जिसके अंदर you'll have multiple terms, और every term will have its own meaning यहाँ पर. Okay, तो आइसक्रीम का मीनिंग हुआ ये और मार्वल का मीनिंग हुआ ये. ठीक है, so you can have multiple stuff like that. Just to revise again, you have three types of list inside HTML. The first list is an unordered list, जहां पर आपको order matter नहीं करता है, and every list must so inside the unordered list you should have list items, जहां पर list items automatically get the bullet points जहां पर, in case it's an unordered list. लेकिन in case you want an ordered list, you can go with the OL here. So OL का मतलब होता है ordered list. So ordered list के अंदर you can have the ordered items which you can give by using the LIs here. Now every LI will have numbering assigned to it automatically.
So can you change this bullet format?
We can change the bullet format and these things also, but that will come when we start learning the CSS, not HTML.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question. Last thing is dictionary. Dictionary definition list basically. Definition list is like a dictionary for you, where you have multiple terms and what each term का meaning is. अभी ice cream का meaning हुआ ये और Marvel का meaning हुआ ये वाला. That's a definition list. Any questions, guys? No questions. Okay, let's move on. Next, let's talk about attributes. HTML attributes. Okay. So see, HTML attributes वो होते हैं जो additional information देते हैं हमारे HTML elements के बारे में. तो all HTML elements can have attributes, लेकिन with ऐसा it's not mandatory कि हर एक element में हम लोगों को attribute देना पड़ेगा. It's not mandatory at all. लेकिन we look at two different elements जहां पर आपको अगर आप attribute नहीं देते हो तो उस element का मतलब ही नहीं होगा. ठीक है? And the first element which requires or which needs the attribute to be present is the image element. Okay, and for that what we'll do is so in our folder right now we have only one file, which is this file. Let's also add an image here. Let's add the boyka image. Need this again. Okay, so let's add a boyka image here, and if I save the file, we have the boyka image right here. Okay, VS Code में भी दिखता है. Now let's try to create an image element and add the boy image on that. ठीक है? And the way we do that is we have the image tag, which is a self-closing tag. Self-closing का मतलब होता है कि you don't need to do this. Okay, you don't do this with image. Okay, what you do with an image is you directly give it like this. Okay, so image is a self-closing tag, just like the BR also. We also learned about BR tag the other day, and we also have HR tag. Okay, we learned about these both in the last classes. BR is a break line; it creates a new line, and HR is a horizontal line. Okay, now let's talk about image. So image का एक important attribute है, which is SRC. So SRC में आप लोग will give the path of the image. Now because ये file जो है और the image जो है वो दोनों एक ही level में है, that's why we can directly give the boy.jpg here. Okay, इसके अलावा you can also give a width here. Let's give 200, and let's also give a height of 200. Okay, now apart from this, there is one more attribute, and that is called the alt attribute. यहाँ पर what you will do is see, like जैसे मैंने बताया था last class में कि lot of people they access websites using a screen reader. तो एक screen reader वो tablet की तरह होता है, which helps the people who can't see. जो लोग देख नहीं पाते हैं, they use a screen reader, and the way it works is जब वो लोग when they open a website on the screen reader, it reads out the content. तो जब एक screen reader इस image को देखेगा, आप लोग जो भी यहाँ पर mention करोगे, let's say कि this is a boy picture, जो भी आप यहाँ पर mention करोगे, वो screen reader इसी को जोर से बोलेगा उन लोगों को जो लोग देख नहीं सकते हैं. ठीक है? So this is a very important attribute, and we call this I mean, when we do this, we are making the website more accessible. तो accessible का मतलब होता है कि this website must be able to be used by all kinds of people, not just you and me who can read and write and who can listen to things, but people who can't see things, people who are blind, they also must have access to this website. Okay, that's why. Now when I save this file and when I go back to the website and refresh, let's see what happens. We get the image here. ठीक है? तो इसका हम लोगों ने जो width और height दिया है, default units of the width and height is pixels. ठीक है? Also one more thing is to observe कि VS Code जो है, it helps you a lot when it comes to HTML. Now जब मैं अपना cursor जो है, जब मैं यहाँ पर लेके जाता हूँ, so see, it gives me information also यहाँ पर कि the intrinsic width of the image in pixels. When I hover over alt, so it's giving you a lot of information. ठीक है? This attribute defines an alternate. So बहुत सारा लिखा है यहाँ पर basically which you can read. You can even hover over maybe IMG, it tells you whatever you want. And जब आपको इसके बारे में और जानना है, then just click on the MDN reference here. Okay. Now let's talk about this website, जो कि है MDN Web Docs. When you just go to Google and when you type MDN, so MDN is a website which basically was developed by Mozilla. Like you guys might be knowing what Firefox browser is. Those people have created this website जहां पर web development के topics का सारा information मिलेगा आपको, especially regarding HTML and CSS and JavaScript. Okay, like let's say कि आपको you want to learn more about the paragraph tag. Just come here and search for the P tag, and let's say, yeah, search for the paragraph element. You click on this and it gives you all the information you need about the paragraph element. Okay, so it's kind of like an unofficial way for you to learn about all these things in one place. तो एक ही website में आपको बहुत सारे topics मिलेंगे. It's even telling you what the related topics are. And if you expand this, it gives you a list of all the HTML elements which are alphabetically ordered. बहुत सारे elements है, and आप लोग इनमें से बहुत सारे use भी नहीं करेंगे basically, but we learn all the important ones. You have many things here, and if you click on any of them, let's click on the OL thing. हमने OL के बारे में अभी पढ़ा है. So OL is the ordered list element, जो कि ऐसा होगा, and उसका result यहाँ पर है. ठीक है? So MDN, always remember, if you have any questions, just go back to MDN and learn from there, or refer from there. Okay? And that was about MDN. This is the image. अभी image के अलावा there is one more element. यहाँ पर attribute का बहुत importance है, and that is if you a link. Click.
So the image path is only from the folder, or we can give from the outside also?
This one?
Yeah.
This one you can for outside also. Let's do that. So let's actually go and search for Marvel. Let's go to images and let's do this. Image कहाँ है? यहाँ पर है. This is the image, and if you go and if you paste it here like this and hit enter, come back and hit save. The image is not loading, I think because it's an SVG, but let's try to load a PNG image. Maybe it'll work. एक मिनट, यहाँ पर let's try to copy link address. नहीं, ये वाला नहीं, I think it's copy image address, I think, yes. This one will work now. Let's paste it here. And hit enter, come back and refresh, you'll see the image here. Good question again. So basically you like not just local image, you can even add the outside images as well. जो भी यहाँ पर link डालना यहाँ पर डाल दो बस. And then it will work like this. But if you do not add a height and width, जितना भी original है उस file का वो पूरा ले लेगा बस. This is the original dimension, so it's taking up the entire width and height. अगर आप लोग यहाँ पर height and width नहीं देते हो, it takes up the original dimensions of the image, like this. Okay, now let's remove the image. And the next thing we have to talk about is the anchor tag. तो anchor tag वो चीज होता है जो links होते हैं basically. तो आपको वेबसाइट में बहुत सारे लिंक्स देखने को मिलते हैं. Let's say that I want to click on Google. यहाँ पर इसका attribute होता है href is equal to, यहाँ पर you can give any link that you want from google.com. Okay, Now when I hit say and refresh the page, I get Google here. Now when I click on this, it takes me to Google. Okay, so and if you observe the link here, wait a minute, कहाँ चला गया? हाँ, if you observe the link here also, automatically इस link को एक underline मिल गया है. तो underline है जो मैंने नहीं दिया है, it's coming automatically from the anchor tag. ठीक है, so जब भी आप लोग एक anchor tag create करते हो, it gets underlined by default. ठीक है. Later on when we
It's work
start
as a
learning about,
hyperlink.
sorry.
It's work like hyperlink. मतलब.
Correct. This is like a hyperlink. Yes, correct. But we call it an anchor tag because A for anchor tag. Okay. Now one more thing is, जो भी इसका styling है, like the underline, all those things, you can change the underline as well once we start learning about CSS. किसने ड्राइंग किया है? ठीक है. Okay, so this was about the anchor tag. तो anchor tag का important चीज है ये. Now we'll do one more thing. I'll create one more file here, call it contact.html. Next time से जब भी आप लोगों को एक नया HTML फाइल बनाना है, all you have to do in VS Code is just type the exclamation mark and then hit tab. That's it. So it creates the skeleton template for you people. I'll tell it once again. Just enter the exclamation mark, जो कि ये है, and then hit the tab button. Okay, so it creates it for you, and let's call this contact. यहाँ पर we'll just write contact us page. Okay, we can also create a link between this file and this file by just doing this content.html. Go to contacts. Now let's hit refresh here. Now when I click on this, see what happens. See, we have now gone to the other page, which is the contact us page. Okay, this is how you create wait, let me increase the font size. When I click on this, we go to the contact us page. Okay, so this is how you actually create linking between different HTML pages. Okay, now next thing we'll learn about is, see, what if you want to, जब भी आप लोग एक लिंक पर क्लिक करते हो, instead of opening the link in the same page, you want to open the new page. That we can do by adding an attribute called as target equal to will be underscore blank. जब आप लोग ये attribute डालते हैं इस anchor tag के अंदर, whenever you click on this, it will open in a new tab. तो वो जो existing tab है वहां से नहीं खुलेगा. It opens in a new tab. Let's look at this. Let's refresh the page. Index.html. When I click on this, observe. Okay, let me remove all the other tabs. When I click on this, it opens the new tab, abhi. Like this. Okay, so it does not open in the same tab anymore. It opens in a new tab. Okay, that was all about the A tag. Now next thing we'll talk about is tables. जब भी आपको कुछ information rows में display करना है, rows और columns में, we have this tag called the table tag. Okay, like let's say कि आपको, I mean, whenever you open Amazon, let's say, and Amazon में, let's open some product. यहाँ पर if you click on EMI options ना, यहाँ पर if you look at this exactly, this is a table, right? Because you actually have uh, four rows and 3 columns. तो जब भी आपको डेटा जो है इस टेबल के फॉर्मेट में दिखाना है, you can do that using the table tag in HTML. Okay, let's look at that now. So टेबल में बहुत सारे टैग्स हैं, लेकिन आप एक चीज समझ लेना, सी लाइक आपको ये सभी, यू डोंट हैव टू मेमोराइज इट, आपको ये रटना नहीं है। तो जब मैं सिखा रहा हूं, just learn it properly then, okay? But afterwards, if you like forget what the tags were, you always have MDN anyway. Okay, so go to MDN and search for tables and learn from there. Okay, lekin when I'm teaching it, you have to understand it perfectly. And one important thing here is, guys, like programming is not about memorizing or ratna nahi hai programming mein. It's all about applying your logic. So what I would suggest is, whenever you're learning something, anything new in programming, right? At that point, are you really understanding it or not? Agar aapko, if you're able to understand everything very well when you're learning something, then you're good. Even if you forget later on, it's totally fine. But when you're learning something, learn it well. And पूरा अच्छे तरह से आप समझ लेना. Ask any doubts you have. Don't hesitate at all. So understand one thing, like I'm not teaching it for my sake. I'm teaching it for you guys, honestly. I'm doing it because I like teaching. But ultimately, see, I already have a job. But if you guys want a job, you have to work hard. You have to ask me all the questions you have. And if I don't know anything, I will get back to you with an answer. Okay? But do ask any questions you have. Don't hesitate and give me any feedback that you want. But yeah, like I was saying, if you think you'll forget something, don't worry about that. Programming is not about memory power at all. Okay? Like even I'm teaching something, and then if you don't understand, then it's a problem. Okay? When you're learning something, learn it very well. उसके बाद अगर आप भूल जाते, it's totally fine. ठीक है? Okay. Now let's learn about tables now. We have a table, main table tag here, जिसके अंदर you'll have two sub tags. First one is the T head, which is the head of the table, and second is a T body. It is the body of the table. So every table you'll have these is two things for sure. Basically, you have a table, and you have a head, and you have a body. Okay. Like think of it this way. You have a table, and inside the table, okay, let me remove the color. You have a head and a body as well. So the entire thing is a table, and this is the T head, and this is the T body. So every table that you ever create, you will always have these three things for sure. Okay. Now let's talk about the table. Okay, now we have these two things, right? Inside T head, you will have a table row, which is one single row. Like जो भी यहाँ पर पूरा रहेगा, that will be one single row. That's a table row. Table row के अंदर you want, okay, let's say कि I want to create a table like this. Let's say मुझे I want a table like this, which has three columns. ये column है, ये column, ये column है, and I have one heading here. Let's say heading 1 है, and this is heading 2. Let me increase the width of this table. 1 second. And this is heading 3. क्या हुआ? heading 2 है और heading 3 है. Okay. First, what we do is, let's put this here. So see, first you have created a table. Let's start from scratch again. See, we have a table, we have a table head, and we have table body. This is the table head. जो भी आप लोग that's a table head. Now table head में you create one table row because we need only one heading. Now let's create one table row for this. Table row के अंदर you'll have table headings here, and you need 1, 2, and 3 table headings. We'll have 3 of them here like this, and this will be heading 1, and this is heading 2, and this is heading 3. Okay, so you basically have one table, and you have one table head, which is this entire thing, and you have one table row, which is यहाँ पर एक ही row है, so we have one table row, and इस row के अंदर, because you have multiple items यहाँ पर, multiple headings, you'll have 3 multiple headings यहाँ पर, 1, 2, and 3. Let's save this and let's go to the page and check what we have so far. We have this. Okay. Next thing, inside the table body, you have to create multiple table rows again. One table row. यहाँ पर, see, here we have table headings, right? But here we have table definitions, which is data 1, data 2, and data 3. This is one row. Let's save and check what we get. We get these 3 things. Okay, so we have one table row. This is the entire thing. And यहाँ पर we have 1, 2, and 3. Like 1, 2, and 3. Let's say मुझे एक और row चाहिए अभी. I'll just copy this and we'll paste it here. And this will be maybe 4, 5, 6. Hit enter and refresh the page. You get 4, 5, 6 here. Let's say we want one more row. Just copy and paste. Which means आपको जितने भी table rows चाहिए, आप उतने table rows से आप create करेंगे. This is 7, 8, and 9, and hit enter and refresh the page. You get this. Okay. Now, this was about table. Table में इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है. So obviously, if you look at the table, it really doesn't have a styling applied to it yet. Styling है नहीं because by default HTML जो है वो styling add नहीं करता है एक table को. तो जब हम लोग when we'll start learning about CSS, we'll look into styling again. Okay. Now the next thing is अभी तक हम लोगों को, I mean हम लोगों ने जब भी whatever changes you've made to the file so far, every single time what we're doing is we're saving the file here and we're coming to this page and we're refreshing it, right? लेकिन अब हम लोग इसको automate करते हैं ताकि हम लोगों को हर एक बार यहाँ पर सेव करना और यहाँ पर रिफ्रेश करने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा. Okay, and for that what we'll do is we have to go to this place here, which is the extensions place. Okay, let's add one extension here, and that is called live server. Okay, live server बोल के आप search करो and click on this. The first result you get with the pink color का icon, just click on that and install कर दो यहाँ पर. ठीक है, तो एक बार इंस्टॉलेशन होने के बाद अब आपका HTML फाइल में, ओके, go to view and click on command palette. Go to view and click on command palette. यहाँ पर search for live server. Once you search, you'll get these 3 options and select the option that says open with live server. When you click on that, it opens the page for you here. ठीक है, यहाँ पर just observe the URL now. URL बदल गया है. ठीक है, Now let's see what happens. Now when I remove one row and hit save, see automatically यहाँ पर changes दिख गए हैं, which means going forward we don't have to go to the file, the browser and keep refreshing the page. वो जरूरत नहीं है. As long as you save the file in your VS Code, you will see the new changes on your website. Okay, so let's add like one more row, for example. यहाँ पर I'll just copy and paste, and I'll hit the save button, and we got a new data here. Let's remove everything. For example, let's remove everything, and let's just say h1 live server procs, and hit enter. We see the changes here automatically. Okay, that is the amazing thing about this thing. You don't have to again go and reload every single time. जब भी आपका live server आपका जो चल रहा है, this thing will keep running. Okay, this was about the tables. So any questions, guys?
Sir, once HTML don't have any formatting.
So HTML, no, HTML has formatting. No, see, like जैसे मैंने एक h1 डाला है यहाँ पर, तो automatically it's adding it a bold ना, को bold करके इसका और जो size है इसका increase कर दिया है. तो हर एक एलिमेंट का एक डिफॉल्ट फॉर्मेटिंग स्टाइल होता है which the browser gives, वो ब्राउजर देता है. ठीक है, लेकिन हम लोग how to change those styles we'll learn that when we learn CSS.
Okay.
Okay, right. Now next we'll start talking about the forms. अब जब भी when you go to any web page, any like page which requires you to register something, like let's say maybe facebook.com. Let me open incognito mode. Facebook.com. See, what you see here is a form, right? एक form है, because you have to, आपको ये form को fill करना पड़ेगा, and then you have a button. You have more buttons here. When you click on any one button, again you have a bigger form here. So if you see here, you have different kinds of form controls. Okay, what we see here is called a form control. Okay, this is an input form control because you're just inputting a text here, and this is also an input which has some text. यहाँ पर you can either enter an email or a mobile number, which means the form control is either an input or a mobile number, and here you have a password. यहाँ पर आप जो भी लिखते हो, you can't see it right automatically. All of these things are called input controls. Now, even if you look at this यहाँ पर, this is a drop down, right? This drop down is also a form control. And if you look at this is again a radio button, which is also a form control. Okay, this entire thing is a form, and each one of this is a form control. Okay, we'll learn about those things now. Let's close this down and let's come back here. Okay, so every time we जब भी हमको एक फॉर्म क्रिएट करना है, we start with a form tag. अभी इसके अंदर let's say कि मुझे एक यूजर नेम लेना है एक यूजर से, so we can actually start by creating a label for that. Like label क्या है, like what should be the name of the form, what should be the name of the input. Like let's say कि यूजर नेम है, and इसका associated जो form control है वो input है. Now input is again a self-closing tag. इसका मतलब है कि you don't have to open and close individually. It is a self-closing tag. अब इसके अंदर you'll give it an attribute called type. इस टाइप के अंदर if you look at this, it has multiple types. VS Code हमको it's giving us lot of suggestions यहाँ पर आप what you can use बोल के. So I want to use the type called as text. ठीक है? As soon as I do this and hit enter and save, see I get a label and I get an input box. ठीक है? This is the label and this is the input. लेकिन अभी there is no real connection between label and the input. Like how do we know कि ये जो label है वो इसी input का है? Which means we have to create some kind of link between these both ना. हम वो link create करने के लिए what we do is we add an ID attribute here. Okay, let's give it any ID that you want. Let's say we call this username ID like this. अभी इसको ID दे दिया है तो हमको इस लेबल को बताना है कि ये जो लेबल है वो इस इनपुट के लिए बना गया है. ठीक है? We have an attribute here called as for, and here you give the ID name here. अब क्या होगा ना? Let's observe. See, I will zoom in on this page. जब भी मैं इस पर क्लिक करूंगा, this input box will come to focus. Observe. I'm clicking on this, और ये focus हो गया. I'll refresh the page. I'll show you again. I'm clicking on this and it focused here, which means there is some connection between label and input right now, and that is happening because of the for and the ID attribute. So remember, input is a self-closing tag जहां पर आपको एक टाइप देना पड़ेगा. अगर आप कोई भी टाइप नहीं देते हो, like this, if you just remove the type attribute, by default वो text ही रहेगा. ठीक है? तो चाहे आप ये दो या निकाल दो, दोनों एक ही चीज है. लेकिन ऑलवेज मेक श्योर टू ऐड इट, बिकॉज अगला लाइक डेवलपर जो भी होगा वो जब आपका कोड देखेगा तो उसको पता लगना चाहिए कि ये एक टेक्स्ट टाइप है. ठीक है? सो इनपुट एंड गिव अ टाइप ऑफ टेक्स्ट एंड क्रिएट अ लेबल फॉर इट जो कि इस इनपुट के साथ लिंक होगा. तो आपको इस इनपुट को एक आईडी देंगे और इस आईडी यहां पर आपको इसमें दे देंगे बस. ओके, दैट इज ऑल अबाउट एंड यूजर नेम एंड लेबल. लेट्स से दैट आपको एक टेक्स्ट एरिया देना है, एक बड़ा, लाइक लेट्स से कि आपको आपका बायो ऐड करना है. बायो का मतलब है कि आपके बारे में लाइक आप कहाँ से हो, आप क्या करते हो, आपका इंटरेस्ट क्या, वगैरह वगैरह. तो उसके लिए एक इनपुट बॉक्स तो इट वोंट बी सफिशिएंट ना, वो छोटा है इनपुट बॉक्स. तो हमको एक बड़ा सा इनपुट बॉक्स चाहिए, एंड फॉर दैट वी हैव अ सेपरेट एक और हमारे पास एक फॉर्म कंट्रोल है विच इज कॉल्ड अ टेक्स्ट एरिया. ओके, अभी टेक्स्ट एरिया को हम लोग ऐसे लिखेंगे एंड वी कैन गिव दिस एन आईडी ऑफ about. It doesn't have to be like this. It can be a self-enclosing tag, but this won't work. ठीक है? तो so you might think कि text area जो है, so it works like input ऐसा, but the text area must always be like this, and you hit save and refresh. यहाँ पर आ गया. But let's say कि so I want a new line like this, so let me just add a couple of break lines. यहाँ पर आ गया. But okay, let's give it a label also. अभी label will be, let's say कि about या bio add करना है. ठीक है? तो ऐसा हो गया अभी. By default, the text area will always be bigger than the input area. And यहाँ पर आप multiple lines में लिख सकते हो. Let's say कि like this, you can add multiple lines of comments here. Okay, that is what you use the text area for. Abhi, one thing we have missed here is we have not linked the label and text area again. So for that, again, just add the for attribute. Yeah, but just add about again, because about is the idea of this. And observe this time, जब मैं यहाँ पर bio पे click करता हूँ, जो कि एक label है, this will come into focus. Okay, that is how the text area works. Now next, let's talk about drop down. Let's add a couple more breakpoints. Okay, let's say कि आपको वो Facebook में जैसा था ना, like date of birth choose करने के लिए you get a list of options, right? उसके लिए एक drop down चाहिए हमको. Let's create a drop down for country. Drop down के लिए we have a tag called select tag, जहां पर आपको जो भी ऑप्शंस दिखाने हैं एक ड्रॉप डाउन के अंदर, वो आप यहाँ पर ऑप्शंस में दिखाएंगे. Let's say we want to create like 3 countries right now: India and America and New Zealand. Okay, तो ये तीनों एक ड्रॉप डाउन के अंदर होंगे. If we look at this, let's get a label here again, country बोल के. We have country and we have India. When you click on this, we have this three different options here. ठीक है, ड्रॉप डाउन जो भी है वो ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाता है because of the select thing. So one more thing you have to remember is, यहाँ पर आपको ID देना पड़ेगा, which is like this. ID में you'll give country again, and when you click on for country, ठीक है, ऑब्जर्व करो, जब मैं यहाँ पर when I click on this, this gets focused again. When I click on this, this gets open. This is a drop down using this tag called select. तो select वो चीज है जो इसका कंटेनर होगा, और जो भी ऑप्शंस आपको दिखाने हैं इसके अंदर, that will be the option tag here. If you want to add more options, let's add more. Let's add more options here. Maybe Australia, Malaysia, and Canada. Let's hit enter. There are multiple options here. Now, one more very common thing that you see in input types is, they have a placeholder text. So let me see if Facebook has it. यहाँ पर देखो आप, it says email address or phone number ना, and वो जो like gray color जो यहाँ पर text दिख रहा है आपको, that's called a placeholder text. Okay, we can add that to our inputs as well, and we can do that by providing an attribute called as placeholder. Let's say add a username. When you hit enter, see यहाँ पर आ गया है. So automatically, when you start typing, that goes off. But when there's nothing in the input box, we see the placeholder यहाँ पर. ठीक है? We can add the same thing here as well. Placeholder, and we can say add some bio. Add some bio is here. Okay, that was about the radio. That was about the drop down, text area, and input. Now let's talk about the radio button group. Radio button हम लोगों ने देखा था यहाँ पर Facebook में. Like let's say say when you have to choose only one of the options, like this, this or this, that's called a radio button. ठीक है? जब आपको मल्टीपल चॉइस में तो सिर्फ एक ही चुनना है, then choose a radio button. Guys, let me just drink some water. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Now that was about these three things. Now let's talk about the radio buttons group. Okay. So yeah. So radio buttons. We'll talk about that next. Radio button के लिए we have this thing called input. तो input में जब आप लोग एक type of text देंगे, वो ऐसा दिखेगा. लेकिन when you give this a type of, let's say, radio, get radio button here. ठीक है? But we also want a label, na? Let's give a label. Let's say कि job type बनाएंगे यहाँ पर. This will be a job type, and this will be part-time, yeah, full-time, like this. You can observe something. It's supposed to select only one of them, no? Selecting both of them. And the reason for that is you have to give two more attributes to the radio buttons, which are called as a name attribute and a value attribute. So type के अलावा और ID के अलावा you have to also give two more attributes, which is name attribute. Let's give it part-time, and value attribute is also part-time, like this. Let's copy the same thing and give it here with different values, full-time and full-time. Okay, now let's see. Oh shit, 1 second. I forgot to give this one. Refresh the page. This happens actually by default, yeah. So जब हम लोग JavaScript सीखने वाले हैं, then we can choose कि सिर्फ one of them will be selected बोल के. ठीक है? Oh wait. Actually, I'm sorry. This should actually be job type. Okay. It's been very long since I worked on this. Okay. What's happening here is, see, the value will be different, लेकिन जो name होगा वो दोनों should be the same thing, so that browser को पता लगे कि जिसका भी नाम same है उनमें से हमको एक ही select करना पड़ेगा. Okay, that's how the browser knows that we have to select only one of these two things and not both the things. So give a name here, and to this also, both must be the same names, and then you can choose one of them like this. Okay, this was about the radio buttons. Next thing, what if you want to like create check boxes? Like जब आपको multiple चीजें choose करना है, we can create check boxes. Let's do that now. So एक checkbox और radio में कुछ अंतर नहीं है, except the type attribute. Let's just copy this and I'll paste it here. The only difference will be the checkbox here. Checkbox and checkbox. Now we have these both. अभी difference observe करो. This is a radio button. इसका मतलब we can choose only one of these. So you can't choose both at the same time. लेकिन यहाँ पर you can choose both. ठीक है? This is a checkbox and this is a radio button. Difference यही है कि अगर आपको given options में एक ही choose करना है, then you go with the radio button approach. लेकिन अगर आपको अनुमति है कि you can choose more than one option, you have to go with the check boxes here. ठीक है? Now let's say कि अगर आपने ये फॉर्म पूरा भरना आपका हो गया है, then you need a button to submit, right? So you can just add a button also here. Let's add 2 more break tags, and then you add a button here. Button, let's say we give it a submit text. You get a submit button here, okay? So you have a button, another button text यहाँ पर, which is this. When you click on this, by default the page will refresh. Now, every single time जब भी आप बटन को जो फॉर्म के अंदर है, ओके, रिमेंबर कि ये पूरा जो हमने लिखा है ये कोड, all of this is inside a form tag. तो जब भी एक बटन एक फॉर्म टैग के अंदर होता है, and if you click on a submit button, the entire page will refresh. Just observe this thing. Observe यहाँ पर observe करो और यहाँ पर observe करो. See, every single time I'm clicking, that is refreshing. Observe here. ठीक है? तो this is the default behavior. And जब हम लोग JavaScript के बारे में जब पढ़ेंगे, we'll learn more about how to control that behavior. ठीक है? Next, we will talk about, and this is the last topic of HTML. So HTML will be done इसके बाद, and tomorrow we'll start with CSS. ठीक है? The next last topic we have for today is what we call as semantic elements. Semantic elements. Okay. Now, what are semantic elements? Let's say कि अगर आपको एक वेबसाइट बनाना है, like Times of India, okay? So Times of India, if you observe, you have a header here, which is this one, and then you have a navigation bar here, which is this one, and then you have some articles here, and if you go down, you also have a footer somewhere here. All of this is a footer now. Lekin, I'll teach you one thing now. See, whenever you right click on a website, and if you go to inspect, this opens up a window, a new window, which is called as a Google Developer Console. अगर आप Chrome में inspect करते हो, this window is called the Developer Console of Chrome. But if you open the same window in Firefox, it's still called a Developer Console, but that will be for Firefox. ठीक है? This entire thing is called a Developer Console, जिसके अंदर you can actually inspect and debug and look into a lot of information regarding the website. We will be looking into this thing only today, which is the elements tab. So elements tab, if you see, let me zoom this. So elements tab में जो है, we have the entire HTML का part here. Okay. So what we can do is, you have this thing now यहाँ पर. When you click on this, you can like select any part of the web page and check what element it is. Like let's say मुझे जानना है कि जो Times of India है, is that an image or is it just a text or what is it? When I click on this, it takes me to this page, which means कि ये पूरा जो है वो एक्चुअली एक इमेज है, ठीक है? और ये इमेज जो है वो एक एंकर टैग के अंदर है, और ये एंकर टैग जो है वो एक div के अंदर है, और ये div के अंदर है, like this and so on and so forth. ठीक है? So everything that you see here is actually inside a div. Okay? लेकिन तो अगर आप अपना पूरा वेबसाइट सिर्फ div से बनाते हो, does it give any meaning to the content around it? Like what I mean by that is, see, let me inspect this element here. See, तो ये जो एलिमेंट है, इट्स एक्चुअली नेविगेशन बार ना, लेकिन इसको भी div में लगा दिया. तो how will I know कि ये जो div है, इनमें से कौन से div लाइक नेविगेशन बार है और कौन से div एक फुटर है, कौन से div एक सेक्शन है? It doesn't tell us anything about that, because जो div है ना, div का एक्चुअली कुछ मतलब नहीं है. Div has no meaning to it. ठीक है? Div has only one purpose, and वो purpose है कि multiple elements को वो group करेगा बस. लेकिन एक div जो group करता है, उन grouped elements को ये div कुछ meaning नहीं देता है. Okay, it's a meaningless tag. तो इसीलिए तो इस प्रॉब्लम को ओवरकम करने के लिए हमको HTML5 जो है, जो कि लेटेस्ट वर्जन है, तो HTML5 में they introduced many elements called as a semantic elements. ठीक है? Now what are some semantic elements? Now the examples होते हैं, we have this thing called section, we have main, we have header and footer, nav, article, aside. We have many more things basically, but these are some of the very commonly used elements. तो इसका मतलब है कि going forward, अगर आप एक section बना रहे हो, then you don't have to use a div. You can use a section tag. So all of these are tags only. All of these are HTML elements. Like let's say कि यहाँ पर, let's remove all of this. मुझे पहले एक header बनाना है. I'll use a header tag. Header will go here. तो header के बाद मुझे एक main area बनाना है, and इसके अंदर I'll have multiple articles like A1 and A2 and A3. And the main के ऊपर और header के बाद actually want navigation bar. Navigation bar will go here. And after the main tag, I want a footer tag. Footer will go here like this. Okay. So now when we open our page, when we inspect the page, by looking at the elements inside body, it's very clear कि ये क्या है. See, this is a header and this is a navigation bar. We have a main tag here, which has multiple articles, and then you have footer tag. तो इसको देख के it's very clear that we are using elements which have some meaning to it. तो जब भी आप लोग ये elements use करते हो और उस elements के अंदर जो भी content होगा, उस content को meaning मिलेगा. Now this also improves the accessibility of pages. Like अगर आपको याद है कि we spoke about this thing called a screen reader. तो जब एक screen reader एक header को या एक nav को देखता है, तो it understands better कि इसका मतलब क्या है. लेकिन अगर आप पूरा सिर्फ div यूज करोगे तो उसका कुछ मीनिंग नहीं हुआ ना. ठीक है? So remember कि wherever possible and whenever possible, use the semantic elements. Okay? Just एक बार Google जाके just type for semantic elements, you'll find a list of them. But important चीज ये है कि इसका मतलब नहीं है कि आप लोग div यूज करना बिल्कुल ही बंद कर दोगे, ऐसा ऐसा कभी नहीं हो सकता है. यू विल कंटिन्यू टू यूज divs, लेकिन जहां भी wherever it's possible, always use these tags like header, nav, and all those things. Now, to show you a good example of a website, we'll go to apple.com. Apple.com, if you inspect this website, let's go back. So if you see here, you have you have a navigation bar. ये nav यहाँ पर लिखा है. You have an aside, which is also a semantic element, and you have a main section here. You have sections here. You probably will have some footer also, but yeah. They can see आप फिर भी you will still continue to use div as well. तो div भी use करोगे आप. लेकिन when you use so you have footer here. ठीक है? ये पूरा जो है, ये पूरा everything that you see here is the footer. Okay, so if you break down your website or your HTML page into semantic elements, it will be much better. Okay, so that was about semantic elements, and we are done with HTML. So HTML में और भी बहुत सारे tags हैं, लेकिन it's not very important to learn all those things. And जब हम लोग see anyway, since we'll be learning CSS and JavaScript and React and all, you will keep coming across HTML anyway. ठीक है, लेकिन हम लोगों ने जो भी लास्ट क्लास और इस क्लास में सीखा है, that is what you need to know to write HTML for sure. अभी इससे ज्यादा जो भी है, we'll learn that later on, but this is the fundamentals you need to know. ठीक है? So any questions for me, guys, before we end the session? No questions? Okay, then I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, guys. Bye bye.